we got the smokiest yet, because the Wall Street Journal is now reporting that back in May, Attorney General Pam Bondi informed the president that his name was in the Epstein files. But he said he hardly knew the guy. He's in the files. He's in the files.
I think you were also saying that anyone who signed this deal would never, ever have been on Jeffrey Epstein's island, plane, or yet to be revealed, Zeppelin.
It was supposed to be just another late-night monologue. But what Stephen Colbert did on that stage wasn't comedy. It was a televised execution. With millions watching, Colbert didn't crack jokes. He detonated truth bombs. And the biggest one? Donald Trump's name, etched in the Jeffrey Epstein files, a name he had desperately tried to bury, a past he had sworn didn't exist. Yet, there it was, unmistakable, documented, and worse, televised. That moment marked the beginning of Trump's most terrifying spiral yet. Not because Colbert was funny, but because he was right. It was the night the media titan became a whistleblower, and the most powerful man in the country became the hunted. What followed was cover-ups, betrayal, $16 million hush money, and the obliteration of America's last free voice on television.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a walk down memory lane. For starters, here's a photo of Epstein attending Trump's 1993 wedding to Marla Maples. That is chilling. Tuxedo jacket with stonewashed jeans and cowboy boots. Epstein was spotted in the background of another photo at the wedding, and in these two pictures with Trump at the 1997 Victoria's Secret Angels party, which raises the question, just what was Victoria's Secret?
Trump thought he could silence his critics with lawsuits, intimidation, and billion-dollar media mergers. But Colbert wasn't just another late-night clown. He was the last one standing with the guts to say the quiet part out loud. The Wall Street Journal had already revealed that back in May, Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, informed him that his name was confirmed in the Epstein files. The reaction? Pure chaos inside Trump's camp. Publicly, he laughed it off. I barely knew the guy. But behind the scenes, his inner circle collapsed. Panic swept through the corridors of power, because once Colbert said it on live TV, the lie that Trump had nothing to do with Epstein couldn't survive another second. The mask had melted, the predator myth was exposed, and Trump's empire began to tremble.
By the way, I never went to the island. I never had the privilege of going to his island.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, what? What? You never had the privilege of going to Epstein's island? Sadly, I never had the honor of dining with Jeffrey Dahmer. Trump sent his Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, to interview Epstein's convicted co-conspirator, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, we don't know what happened during this meeting. After the second meeting, Maxwell was seen carrying this box. Nothing suspicious about that. I'm sure they give all convicted traffickers with a decades-long connection to Donald Trump a box. She got a box, Epstein got a box, hers was cardboard, his was pine, all perfectly normal.
Colbert didn't need to yell, cry, or exaggerate. He just showed the receipts. Photos of Epstein casually attending Trump's 1993 wedding to Marla Maples, blending in like any family friend. Then came the haunting snapshots from the 1997 Victoria's Secret Angels party, where Epstein and Trump shared smug grins under neon lights. These weren't isolated moments. They painted a timeline, years of connection, champagne, whispers, and shared darkness. And yet, America was sold the lie that Trump hardly knew the man. Colbert stripped that excuse bare. What was once dismissed as rumor was now documented truth, flashing across millions of screens. With each image, the illusion shattered further. The parties, the access, the intimacy, none of it was distant. It was always real. And Colbert knew exactly how to weaponize that truth.
During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump said very clearly that he would release the Epstein files. My response, Mr. President, do it. Do what you promised the American people you would do, and stop trying to deflect attention away from what you promised. Be transparent the way you promised you would be. Tell the truth like you promised. Because hiding whatever he's hiding with the Epstein files is not the first time, to say the least, that he has lied to the American people.
Then why did CBS settle? And in that settlement, why did CBS agree to pay Donald Trump $16 million? Well, the answer can be found in CBS and its parent Paramount wanting that merger to go through with Skydance. That merger is worth about $8 billion. On Monday, Colbert calls this payoff a big fat bribe. On Tuesday, Skydance CEO meets with the head of FCC, and on Wednesday, Colbert is told that the show is being canceled.
And then came Trump's own words. His desperate attempts to distance himself only tightened the noose. "I never had the privilege of going to the island," he scoffed. The privilege? Colbert repeated that line on air, stunned by the absurdity. What kind of privilege is that? That's like bragging about not dining with Jeffrey Dahmer. The audience gasped, then erupted. The implication was grotesque, and Colbert didn't let it slide. He drilled deeper, pointing to Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche, who just so happened to meet with Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, in a private federal prison visit. Colbert raised an eyebrow. What exactly was exchanged in that cardboard box she walked away with? Suddenly, the picture grew darker. A secret meeting, a mysterious box, a convicted trafficker, and a personal connection to the former president. This wasn't conspiracy. It was documented interaction. And Colbert wasn't joking anymore. He was warning.
I'm thrilled for everyone at Paramount that the deal went through, and very excited for our newly announced official combined Paramount Skydance stock ticker name, which will go from Para to P-Sky. Soon, after months of delay, the deal was finally approved by FCC chairman and brilliant, handsome man who Paramount officials describe as liquid sex, Brendan Carr.
So, is there any merit to CBS' claim that this is purely financial? The circumstantial evidence would say there isn't a whole lot of merit there. Certainly not with the timing of the decision. Now, it is true that late-night comedy ain't what it used to be in terms of viewership. As lots of people have moved on to streaming services, particularly young people that watch late night, there are less viewers than there used to be, but there's still a lot of viewers. And the top-rated show was the one that CBS just canceled. It's also instructive to look at May of this year, when Paramount CEO was asked about the late night show with Stephen Colbert. And he was already talking about how they would have contract talks in the following year, that is next year, and that CBS felt it was in a good negotiating position with Stephen Colbert. There was no suggestion then that they were entertaining a cancellation of the show.
Colbert wasn't just exposing hypocrisy, he was unraveling a system of complicity. He pulled up the infamous Epstein contact list, and there it was, Donald John Trump. Not once, multiple times. Aliases too. The Donald, Big Daddy Bronze, DJT, even Micro. These weren't vague mentions, they were deliberate records. The same man who claimed he barely knew Epstein had been linked to him for decades, photographically, socially, and now legally. The moment this appeared on screen, the audience fell silent. No punchline was needed, because the lie had already collapsed under its own weight. Trump had always sold himself as a man of power, but Colbert showed he was simply a man of access to the worst kind of secrets. And those secrets were finally seeping into public view, one layer at a time.
Because hiding whatever he's hiding with the Epstein files is not the first time, to say the least, that he has lied to the American people. He promised that his big, beautiful bill wouldn't touch Medicaid. Instead, the bill is going to take away Medicaid from 17 million Americans. Why is he slashing Medicaid? So we can give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the top 1%.
He gathered his congressional goons together and he made up this promise.
We're going to get the drug prices down, not 30 or 40%, which would be great. We will have reduced drug prices by 1,000%, by 1,100, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400, 700, 600.
Trump's boldest campaign promise was to expose the Epstein files. He said it repeatedly, with his signature bravado, "I will release everything." But Colbert reminded the world he never did. Not a single page, not one document. Just like his tax returns, healthcare reform, and border wall reimbursements, it was all theater. And when pressed for answers, Trump did what he always does: deflect, blame, and confuse. Colbert wasn't having it. "Release the files," he demanded, staring straight into the camera. "Do what you promised, Mr. President. Show us the truth." But instead of truth, Trump gave America something else: a $16 million CBS settlement, suspiciously timed after Colbert's monologue aired. What was that money really for? A legal closure? or a bribe to silence a voice that had come too close.
He had a good round with a little help from cheating, allegedly. See if you can spot the alleged moment. Okay, he's in the cart looking for his ball. Those are his caddies up ahead, and bloop. There it is. Trump doesn't seem satisfied with humiliating just CBS, because over the weekend he posted, wow, Comcast's NBC is down in viewership almost 28% this year. Their programming is terrible. Their management, even worse. They are an arm of the Democrat Party and should be held accountable for that. Likewise, fake news, ABC, adding, in my opinion, their licenses could and should be revoked. My God.
The Wall Street Journal revealed the deal's dirty details. Colbert had exposed Trump. The very next day, Paramount executives were called into hush meetings. On Monday, Colbert calls out the $16 million payment as a fat bribe. On Tuesday, Skydance executives meet with FCC officials. By Wednesday, CBS cancels Colbert's show. Coincidence? No one was buying that, especially not when Colbert's Late Show was still the top-rated late-night program in the country. Why kill your golden goose? Because that goose had just ripped off the curtain hiding the rot in the palace. This wasn't about ratings, it was about revenge. Colbert called it out live. If I disappear next week, you'll know why. And sure enough, the following week, he was gone. The cancellation wasn't just personal, it was political. Paramount claimed it was a business decision. Colbert, ever the master of irony, played along. Thrilled to announce our new merged ticker name, Peace-Sky, from Para to Peace-Key, because apparently silence is good for business, he quipped. But the laughter was hollow. Behind the joke was a cold, calculated purge, a message to every journalist, comedian, and media figure: speak truth to power and you will pay. Colbert's takedown didn't just cost him a job, it fractured the foundation of press freedom in America. And it wasn't just CBS. Trump turned his aim toward NBC, ABC, even independent bloggers. Enemy of the people, he called them. Then came the threats. Revoke their licenses, muzzle their platforms. The chilling effect spread fast. What began as one man's vendetta was now a media purge.
A lot that I would ask Pam Bondi, but I do want to go back to the first part about the president now seemingly flipping his position. I do want the American people to recognize that this is nothing more than a game by the con man, again, because he knows, like most others, I'm sure his attorneys have informed him, that the release of grand jury documentation, as it's already been laid out, this is a secret process. It is a lot more difficult to actually get that released. So he gets to play both sides of it. He gets to then blame the courts if the courts then ultimately do what courts are supposed to do, which is to kind of follow the law. Away with this as quickly as possible. We saw a number of Republicans that just skipped a previous vote this week. So I don't anticipate that we will get to any resolution on this. I think that they want to, again, straddle the fence. They want to show that they are loyal to this, I don't even know what to call him. I've called him so many things. But this wannabe Hitler, for sure. They want to pledge their loyalty to him, and they know that he does not want this released. I think that they also are concerned about the damage that it may do. If he's trying to hide it, they understand that it is most likely problematic for him, as well as the MAGA brand, as well as the Republicans.
And the consequences weren't theoretical. With Colbert gone, media executives fell in line. Stories were pulled. Investigations were shelved. Epstein's name faded from the headlines once more. The same media that had once promised to hold power accountable now chose profit over principle. The public, meanwhile, was left in the dark. No answers, no exposure, just polished press statements and vanished whistleblowers. The message was loud and clear. In Trump's America, the media either plays along or gets played. But Colbert's monologue had done something irreversible. It lit a fuse. Because somewhere, someone was watching and realizing this wasn't just a scandal, it was a template, a blueprint for how a leader silences truth, erases records, and buries bodies with handshakes and settlements. The betrayal ran even deeper. Trump didn't just go after his critics, he burned his loyalists too. Attorney General Pam Bondi had been his pit bull for years. She stood by him through every storm: impeachment, indictments, investigations. But when Epstein's files hit the surface and Bondi confirmed Trump's name was in them, everything changed. Trump's team leaked stories. He was disappointed in her. Privately, he wanted her to take the fall. When reporters asked him about the files, he played dumb. I don't know what Pam's doing. The woman who had fought his battles was now being thrown under the bus. Not because she betrayed him, but because she couldn't bury the truth deep enough. In Trump's world, loyalty is a leash, and when it snaps, so do careers.
Minority state, and they don't feel comfortable having to go and present their very much racist policies, the policies that people like the Proud Boys are excited. That's what they're going to do. They are going to minimize people of color's voices, and they truly believe that by pushing their white supremacy agenda, they will be able to then secure more Republican seats.
If Republicans are doing it, should Democrats redraw districts to their favor too? And if not, why not?
No, I'm all in, Alex. Listen, you know, we are in a crisis in this country, and I've got to tell you that Democrats have consistently held the moral high ground for good reason, regardless of the fact that one party wants to pretend that they are Christians or super Christians. The reality is that don't tell me what you are, show me what you are in your policies and what you do. And I can tell you that Democrats have consistently fought for equity in all ways.
Pam Bondi's fall wasn't an accident. It was a tactic. Trump loudly called for the grand jury documents to be released, knowing full well it was legally impossible. That wasn't a demand for transparency. It was a trap. When the courts inevitably rejected the motion, Trump pointed at the judiciary and shouted, "See, they're hiding the truth from you." His base, already inflamed with paranoia, bought it instantly. Meanwhile, Bondi, stuck between legal restrictions and MAGA expectations, was politically gutted. Trump offered her up as a scapegoat to distract from the fact that he himself had buried the Epstein files. This was classic Trump strategy: create a diversion, torch the loyal, and gaslight the public. His promise to reveal the truth was just another layer in his ongoing deception. Bondi wasn't the first. She joined a long list of loyalists who discovered that Trump's loyalty was transactional and always temporary. Michael Cohen, once Trump's trusted fixer, was ridiculed as a rat the moment he cooperated with investigators. Jeff Sessions, who bent over backward to defend Trump, was discarded after he recused himself from the Russia probe. Even Bill Barr, the attorney general who twisted DOJ policy in Trump's favor, was abandoned when he wouldn't go along with election lies. And then there was Mike Pence, a man who spent 4 years defending every chaotic Trump decision, only to be publicly betrayed and nearly lynched by a mob chanting "Hang Mike Pence" after he upheld the Constitution. Trump's loyalty extends only to himself and ends the moment self-preservation kicks in.
Submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. But the leader of the gang was President Obama. Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him?
Under fire, Donald Trump has turned to trolling Barack Obama with a bizarre AI video as he tries to distract from the Epstein files firestorm.
That took place in November 2016 between Obama, then the president, and Mr. Trump, who had days earlier won the election. The digitally altered video shows FBI agents bursting into the meeting, pushing Obama to the ground, then putting him in handcuffs.
That betrayal isn't just personal. It carries global consequences. If Trump can't even honor his commitments to those closest to him, how can allies trust U.S. treaties, military alliances, or diplomatic promises? The message to world leaders is unmistakable. America under Trump is not dependable. His impulsive decisions, from abandoning Kurdish allies in Syria to threatening NATO withdrawal, were more than political blunders. They were warnings. Now, the Epstein fallout only reinforces that reputation. If he can stab his attorney general in the back to shield his name from a scandal, what wouldn't he do on the global stage? For every foreign ambassador, the takeaway is simple. Alliances based on trust and stability collapse when the leader in charge treats people like pawns in his personal chess game. As pressure mounted, Republicans didn't stand up. They disappeared. Lawmakers who once raised eyebrows at Trump's antics suddenly fell silent. The House vote on releasing the Epstein records came and went, with many GOP members skipping it entirely. Others danced around the issue, trying to please both the MAGA base and independent voters. But in doing so, they pleased no one. Representative Jasmine Crockett called out the cowardice directly. This isn't about legality. It's about protecting the MAGA brand from collapse. She compared Trump to a wannabe Hitler, using loyalty tests and manufactured outrage to keep his base in check. The deeper truth is chilling. Many Republicans likely know how damaging the Epstein records could be. But instead of confronting it, they chose complicity, silence, and political survival over justice.
The point here is that MAGA revolted against Trump and we won. But the question lingers, why? Why has it come to this, right? Like, what are we doing here? What is Trump hiding? Why is he going down like this over Jeffrey Epstein? Trump is playing games. He is, I'm sorry. He is flat out playing games right now. In fact, he's doing that thing that we always felt the press was doing to Trump supporters, thinking that we're stupid.
This silence isn't just cowardice, it's corruption. Trump's appointment of Pam Bondi to review Epstein's files was never about law or truth. It was about loyalty. Wasn't expected to investigate. She was expected to cover. And when she failed, the mission shifted. Erase her. Just like Nixon's Saturday Night Massacre during Watergate, Trump's manipulation of the DOJ has exposed the fragility of America's checks and balances. But unlike Nixon, Trump doesn't need to fire everyone. He just replaces them with loyalists who see justice as a weapon, not a principle. The result? A Department of Justice that resembles a mafia outfit more than a democratic institution. The Epstein cover-up wasn't just a scandal, it was a final flaming signal flare. The rule of law is under attack from within.